James, kind of a boring game, as a lot of these friendlies are, let's be fair. 3-0 to England in the end. Didn't feel like that for the first half or beginning part of the second half as well. A lot of England's best chances falling to Ezri Konsa, and certainly not the starting 11 I think we'd expect to find ourselves seeing. Mark Gahey playing, Dunk playing, these kinds of things. Conor Gallagher playing. Who else did we have in there? Jared Bowen, Ollie Watkins. It was nice to have Eze have a chance, Cole Palmer get a chance as well. So definitely not, I think, what we're going to see in the first England game in the Euros against Serbia. But what I did want to ask you about is what the best balance for this England team is going to be going into games where they should be winning, what they should be trying to do, what they would be approaching, what you as a manager, what you as a coach would be doing. But then in the tough games against France, against Germany, against Spain, what England should be doing as well. The main points going around kind of personnel. We know it's going to be Carl Walker. We know it's going to be John Stones. We know it'll be Maguire if he's fit. We know it's going to be Shaw if he's fit. Pickford, Rice, Bellingham, Kane. We know we have a few of the positions pretty nailed down. But I'm going to ask you, Serbia, these kinds of teams where England really should be just coming up against and beating, just position by position are just better than. What should England be looking to do in that midfield, in the attacking positions? Bobby Mainu, does he get a chance to play and start? Does Foden come into midfield? Palmer or Saka? I wanted to kind of open it up to you. If England are in a game where they are the much better team, what should they be aiming to do with the players at their disposal?
Um, I feel like we have to be logical with this, Jack. I think that can Bellingham and Foden play in the same midfield? I think we've seen they can. It just has to me, it just has to be the right balance. You have to have the right sort of system behind them. We've seen Spain with a midfield of Xavi Alonso and Xavi at the same time with Sergio Busquets. And let's be honest, not the most mobile three in the world, but it worked to absolute perfection. Yeah. Um, I look at a player like Declan Rice and I see him being to me the most important piece in the point of view of him cleaning up and making sure that, these guys have the license to go play. I would like to see England start with the first couple of games with a Jude Bellingham sitting a little bit deeper, with Phil Foden playing as the 10, because going forward, I've realized that Bellingham isn't a 10 as much. I believe that he's a box-to-box football number 8 who is unbelievable with the dirty work, Jack. He can get
Yeah.
back, Jack. He can make tackles. He's very, very mobile. And I think when he has to be disciplined, he can be disciplined. And maybe giving Phil Foden the opportunity to kind of hover around there. And Jack, we've seen this year, he's taken a bit more of a leap of faith this year in being a bit more disciplined when like he's had to be. So I think that could be sort of an issue. But I won't be surprised. Yeah. I think probably we're working with Gareth Southgate here, who's right to do this. Yeah, who's right to do this, to be a bit more pragmatic in the middle. Because as people want to talk about free flowing this and that, free flowing football don't win you tournaments. I can almost guarantee you that. Yeah, you look at the Spain team, as great as they were, the free flowingness of them, they conceded one or two goals in each of their
Right.
like in each of of their wins. A lot of 1-0 wins, a lot of clean sheets. Yeah, going back to the great Italy team who won it, France team who won it. Yeah, maybe the only one that would be an anomaly of that was Brazil. We know what Brazil were
Right.
about. You need to meet that solidity, and I won't be surprised. To me, what I see happening is you're gonna play probably Bellingham next to maybe a Kobe Manu or just somebody with that with a bit of nous in there, and Declan Rice, and kind of shore up the midfield, make England difficult to beat, but still have the creativity of Phil Foden coming in from the left hand side. And like Jack, he may play a role that he's played with Manchester City a lot, where on the Jack on the team sheet he starts off wide, but like with the amount of possession that they have, he drifts in into the center to he drifts in into the center to to create like almost like a diamond shaped midfield four. Yeah. And then and then like you may ask let's say Shaw or like whoever's playing down the right hand side to almost keep the width in like
Left hand
basically
side. Yeah.
be the wing. Yeah, sorry, down left hand side and like basically like be the winger. And like you kind of have Foden coming in off the left hand side and just picking up little pockets of like space. And that may restrict him, let's say, out of possession because it is a long way to go from central and then like the ball turns over, and then like he has to get back into possession to create the bank of four. But if he has cover with players like Declan Rice, he will be able to like kind of do that there. But by him coming in the midfield, by him coming off the left hand side and popping into these little spaces, he becomes undetected because a fullback isn't gonna follow Declan Rice, Jack. Right? If that fullback doesn't follow Declan Rice, I know, not Declan Rice, Phil Foden. That fullback doesn't follow Phil Foden. He now comes into a position unmarked and he jots into little space. And like that little space that he gets into, if you have the right players finding them, there is no better player in England playing on the half turn, and I possibly say in the world, than playing on the half turn than Phil Foden. So him popping up in these little holes undetected on the half turn there, spinning, receiving it on the back foot, and turning and driving out, and think about it, driving out the defense is going to be a problem. So that's where, to me, the balance you might see going forward with him. It might be a bit difficult, let's say, with certain teams like France, for instance, where England may have less of the ball and England have to be a bit more pragmatic. But I won't be surprised if Phil Foden starts out wide and then drifts in there. Bukayo Saka will keep his position in there. And Harry Kane, I think Harry Kane is big this year, Jack, because it's the first time I believe that Gareth Southgate might have to have a word with Harry Kane and say to him, stay high.
Yeah, we got too many
Stay
people coming to the ball.
exactly. I think Bellingham can make them long bursting runs. Yeah,
Right,
you can play off him. Yeah, Foden, I think he can do that, but he's more a ball to feet guy. Saka, to me, he doesn't really like make too many runs in behind. He's more
right.
of a ball to feet guy. So maybe a player, the fact that Rashford doesn't go, and Anthony Gordon might fit a player like Harry Kane, but I feel Harry Kane's gonna have to be really disciplined and patient. Jack, we've seen so many times Harry Kane when it comes to these tournaments. Slow starts. He might be scoring
Yeah,
goals here and there, but the performance isn't quite there because he's trying to find his feet. I,
penalties.
I, Ben, sorry there. But I do believe that he's gonna have to be just a bit more disciplined and hold the width. I'm sorry, and hold the depth as high as he can possibly can, and give players like, for instance, Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, the opportunity to play and also slot him in. So he might have to do a little bit more running in behind, as much as it's not his game as much. He might have to sacrifice himself a little bit. But we know once he gets into the box and the ball comes into him there's no more little player than Harry Kane in world football.
So let me throw in a couple of wild cards then, because I think you know a couple of my thoughts. I think Kobe Mainoo is becoming less and less of a wild card and more of a just, I think that's the guy we should kind of go for. I want to talk to you though about Cole Palmer. You're the Arsenal fan, so maybe you're the one with the potentially more bias to you, although I know you're bigger than that, you're above that. But does Cole Palmer deserve a shot in that right hand spot or in that number 10 spot? And does he force somebody like Phil Foden out wide, or does he force Jude Bellingham a little deeper? For me, that was player of the season. I thought Phil Foden was great, but I think given the environment that Cole Palmer found himself in, what he was able to do was absolutely unbelievable. And somebody with that kind of mentality, that kind of attitude, self-belief going forward, I think into an international tournament is invaluable. Cole Palmer for me is wherever you want to put him in that three behind the striker. I think he has to start personally.
Um, I don't think he quite breaks in just yet, Jack. Granted, he had a great season for Chelsea, but I believe Chelsea were so bad it was almost like if they need to have one player who kind of stands out.
Right.
In Chelsea, he's the man. He's everybody. He's the guy that everybody looks to. I think the pressure next season is going to be even higher for him because he came into this season, Jack, with not really people looking at him. Now next season, when teams are doing up their tactical report for Chelsea, that's the danger man. That's the thing about it. That's
Yes.
who we
The
stop. And how many
one
times you
guy.
see players, how many times you see players have this amazing first season and then after a while, kind of can keep that consistency going forward. It's only one season, Jack. It
Right.
really is only one season. I look at it right now and I ask myself, who can he dethrone? And I don't see him playing in the midfield as much. I don't see that happen. I don't think he has the defensive capabilities to kind of play there just yet. That may grow going forward. The area that he could be looking at, Jack, is taking over Saka on the right hand side. And that is definitely a possibility there. I'm not sure how Jack. I'm not Jack. He start today? How for you did he get on today?
He played well. He immediately gets the ball half turn, little reverse pass into Ollie Watkins, who should maybe do better, who was kind of fouled actually. And I think if he dives, it's actually a penalty. But again, the moment you see him again, it's kind of Foden-esque, but that little half turn and then kind of boom. This kind of brings me on to my next thought with you. If Luke Shaw's fit, I think maybe it is Foden and maybe it is Palmer. I think Saka can do it too, of course, but maybe it is Foden, maybe it is Palmer coming right and tight and inside. Bellingham's allowed to play much further forward. Carl Walker and Luke Shaw can really go. Declan Rice a little bit more pragmatic, a little more conservative, defensive-minded, helping John Stones and helping Harry Maguire at the back a little bit at the base there. That's something that did enter my thought processes. But I want to ask you, you mentioned obviously, and you went down kind of a train of thought about how it might be best to set up. You kind of said, though, that you don't think it will be possible for them to play this really kind of creative, really offensive minded England midfield. Would you play the same kind of team and the same starting 11? Tactics might be different, but would it be the same starting 11 against France as it would against Serbia?
Um, Again, the one thing is
Relationships,
relationship
patterns.
and like relationships and consistency. But Jack, not every football game is the same, and what
Right.
you need for France is different to what you need from a team like Poland, for instance. Yeah, where they're gonna sit back. They respect England. Yeah, they know that. Listen, we are the inferior team right here. England are the better team. Yeah, they have the better players. So they're going to sit back and think about they're going to give England the ball and England going to have to break them down. This is where the attacking players are asked to do even more. This is where the attacking players are given less space to operate because Jack the team sits back. Yeah, when you play against France, to be fair with France, last time that they played England, they did respect England, Jack. They did sit back at times, yeah, and let England come on to them. And Jack, they kind of Jack, they kind of pick and choose like when they wanted to go. But you know that it will be 9 times out of 10 a 50-50 ball game with both teams going at it. And one mistake will be the difference between either team going through. And I don't know if England want to go for that and take a chance by playing the same way that they play against Poland. Because Jack, even France are at the same point. Like you look at the French team, Jack, they were very, very, very disciplined in that World Cup
Right.
run, Jack. You
Yeah.
know, you go like literally go watch the game against Morocco. Morocco were less. They don't have the players France did, but France respected them and said, "Sit back. We know our personnel. We know that we want to give Mbappe space, yet
Yeah.
to play. We know we want to give Dembele space to play. So we're gonna sit back, and once that ball turns over, go catch him." And that's France doing that. And we all know
Yeah.
how much we held France. So there's no reason why England also can't be a bit pragmatic at times. But it's always the thing about it's always the thing that they talk about with Gareth Southgate. Oh, he's too pragmatic. No, he has a reason to be pragmatic because that's how you win
Right.
trophies. The only issue right now is can they get over the
Over the
line?
line.
And the
Yeah, of
little
course.
minor things will be the difference.
Yeah. Final couple of things. Eze played well, and every time I see him play, I think, man, I actually think he's more talented than Saka, than Palmer, than Gordon, than Grealish, than Rashford. Because you watch him on the ball, the confidence, the swagger, you do wonder what a guy like that would look like playing for a better team, having a bit more of the ball, having a better players around him, that kind of thing. Does Eze sneak into your thoughts at all for the starting 11 for England, or is it just too soon?
Um, he does, and Jack coming to the end of the season, him and Michael Lee said went completely off. Ridiculous what they were able to do. I feel like he does have a lot of competition in there. Jack Grealish came on and like apparently looked decent when he came on. The one player who I think that could possibly play in that, I think Phil Foden will probably play. They're gonna find a way to fit Saka Foden
Yeah,
all
Foden
in the
has to
same
start. Yeah,
with like Jude and like the rest of them, and also and also still keeping that like defensive solidity with the double pivot. But I look at a player like Anthony Gordon, Jack. I really, really, really believe that if England are gonna have a player there who has a bit of pace, who can be direct, I think he is the one, Jack. The amount of times I've seen him, Jack, play without the ball, and I think that's so important. Not always wanting it to feed Jack, yeah, being able to run in behind, being able to get there as a cross comes in. Because the biggest thing I see for a lot of wingers, yeah, who don't have the desire of a Salah, who ain't a goal hungry winger, when that ball comes in, they're not at the back post, they're standing at the touchline. Anthony Gordon is always there to score a tap. If you look at the amount of goals that he scored, especially against the big six teams, it's Anthony Gordon back post tapping
Back
because
post
he busts
tapping.
the
Yeah.
good to get in there. And when you have players like Harry Kane, who's gonna drop, who's gonna like think about who's gonna create and put balls into an area. Anthony Gordon is a player who I believe that is gonna be the one who can really challenge the rest of the top England stars.
Final note from me, everybody. Trent Alexander-Arnold, midfield, Champions League or international level football. No, sir. No, sir. There was one pass in the game. I tweeted about it. Pass in the middle of midfield, back to a centre back, way too short, was cut out. James, I pictured it in my head. Camavinga, Chamonix, you name it. Griezmann dropping a little deeper. Who knows? Cutting out. First time pass through to Kylian Mbappe, 1-0 to France. That's all I saw in my head. Guy's great, can play these beautiful passes and stuff, but just does not have the brain to be a central midfielder. I don't know if you wanted to touch on that, but to me, it was today was my kind of. I
Um,
still had that little thing of like maybe no, not
yeah,
after what I saw today.
you know what? I don't want to judge it off just one pass. Can Trent Alexander-Arnold playing in the midfield? Of course he can. When you have the technical ability and Jack the Ranger passing that he does, it's incredible. And you look at players like Kimmich, technically, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a much better player than Kimmich technically. Yeah.
Yes, technique,
Oh,
but I Kimmich, I just it's so elite up here.
Kimmich reads the game a lot better, especially off the ball. I think he reads it. But in terms of you on the ball and maybe facing the game, there's nobody that does better. The issue with Trent Alexander-Arnold that I look at going forward is what is his 360 vision like? Because the
Yeah,
problem with playing in the midfield is when you're playing fullback, the game is there. Yeah, the
right.
game is right in front of you. Playing center mid, here, there, talking about having win, like talking about having win mirrors, and especially when you're getting pressed from 40, 50 different multiple areas. And Jack, you don't have the ability to pick your head up and have 2, 3 seconds to look for that pass. Now that pass has to be 2 seconds faster. Can he do that at the highest level? I don't doubt that he can do it against certain teams. We don't doubt that. But when it's top teams like Portugal, Germany, France, where the level is even high and the margin of error is that minimal,
Uh,
can he
yeah,
deliver?
that's my thing. I think for Liverpool in the Champions League and for England internationally in major tournaments, no, I don't want to see it. Wait till Carl Walker hangs up his boots when he's 42 and then go and play right back. That's all I'm saying. Guys at home, what did you think of the England performance? What's your confidence and your faith going like into the June the 14th start of the tournament and England's first game, I think on the 16th against Serbia? Drop in the comments. Please like the video if you like what you've seen. Hit subscribe because there will be Euro to reaction happening hopefully daily. We've got 3 games a day for the best part of a week. So that is
Can't wait.
brilliant news for football fans everywhere. My phone's going to be set up all over the place while I'm at work. Um, guys, until next time, me and James, we will see you.